Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be doing a watch me practice ombre. Ombre nails is a nail effect that I love, but I've never done on my channel because honestly, I've never practiced it and I haven't been good at it. So that's what we're doing today. I was showing you the nail polishes, but this doesn't really matter. And what I mean doesn't really matter is because these first two colors, this set, are actually my mistakes. So as you can see, I am doing 3 different techniques and 2 of them require a full coat of the base color. So that's what I'm doing now. That was one of them. This second one requires that you put both the colors on. So we're going to put half of this nude, or more than half. I did this first layer more than half of the nude, and just the tip is going to be the color. Already, tip number 1 is get polishes that are of the same consistency and that are of the same viscosity, we'll say. This actually helps with the blend in the long run. As you can see, these 2 polishes are not going to mix, but honestly, I was trying to find the best technique, so I wasn't too worried right now about, you know, the actual polishes itself. So this first one, this video is sped up a lot, but I am using the very tips of the brush. I'm using a Madame Glam ombre brush, and I'm just blending right at the edges between the edge of the blue and the edge of the nude. And we're just going up and down a little bit. It looks a hot mess, but they've always said that ombres in the beginning, they always look a hot mess before they get good. Now this second one, I'm putting another coat of the base color on, and that's just gonna go back into the lamp. So there's 3 different ones. There's the ombre brush, then I was using a sponge, and then I was using another technique with the ombre brush. So we're back to our first one, and then we're using the second coat. Now I already know at this point this nail is jacked up. It is the worst. So I'm literally just using this nail to kind of practice the technique of blending and how much my pressure should be when I'm blending. So that's what I'm doing here. Like I said, this is sped up, but I'm using the very tips of the brush and the lightest pressure, and also going pretty fast. So even though the tape is sped up, I'm also going quite fast with my hands in real time. And my next video is going to be an ombre video. I'm going to show you in real time how fast I actually go with the brush. So you take some of the blue into the nude, and this is when I realized I actually kind of had something. I was getting the hang of it. Even though these colors aren't the best, that blend on the second go around, it was looking very pretty. So this is when I kind of realized, okay, I like this technique. And that's just getting cured back into the lamp. This second one, we're using the sponge. This one was my least favorite. It did not work for me. So for this particular one, you use the 2 coats and then you just keep dotting on and sponging on the color. So that's what we're doing, is this, I'm just sponging on this color. And as you can see, it's not really showing up. They say like, oh, you could use multiple coats, and I just didn't want that. Then I tried to be a little more aggressive with the color. It was not working out for me all in all. This technique I don't recommend. It didn't work for me. Maybe it works for somebody else. I'm trying to blend out the edges. Maybe it works someplace else, but for me, it wasn't a thing. Then this other one, which one was this one? Oh yes, this is the last technique where you put some of the color on. So it's 2 coats of the nude, whatever base color. You put some of your ombre color on, and then you take it and you just blend it back. You're not blending it into wet. It's just you're taking that little bit of uncured gel and you're going to blend it at the edges so that it seamlessly goes into nothingness and looks like an ombre. This one, it kind of looked nice. Like you see here, this little hopefulness. So we actually go down to final two techniques, and this was one of them. So the ombre brush clearly works out better for me and is a preferred tool to achieve the ombre nail look. I was just tipping it over so that the gel settles into itself, and then we were just trying again to see where it is. So this one didn't look too bad to me. And again, this is sped up, but you can see where everything blends out. And always remember to wipe your brush ever so often because you don't want the gel polish to get gucked up inside the bristles. That's going to make blending very difficult. I spent a lot of time on this nail, more than I should have, because I really thought for some reason, I really thought this technique was going to be the one that really works for me. So I was honestly spending a lot of time trying to perfect this one particular technique. And honestly, I didn't end up picking this one in the end. And that's also tip number, I don't know what tip number we're on, probably like number 2. So the first one was use the very tips of the brush. The second one was get better quality, make sure the quality of the nail polishes are the same, of same consistency, viscosity, excuse me. And number 3 would be know when to stop blending and stop being so finicky. This is me trying that sponge again. I didn't like it. So I came back, and this one is the ombre brush, and we're doing a second coat again of it. I don't know why we're doing a second coat again of this one. I'll be completely honest. The first one was good enough. Maybe I was just trying to see how much more of a blend I can get. But now I think I blended it too far. But these were honestly just practice trying to get technique down. So this is where you make the mistakes. This is why it's called a watch me practice. You're supposed to see these things. So after all of that, we've come to the decision that the sponge not going to work, and that the two we're going to do and look at more closely were the ombre brush. So we got 2 polishes that similar colors, but also are of a better quality, better viscosity. Now we're going to do the 2 techniques again. So for this one, like I said, there was the full nail. So we're just going to paint this a full nail of the base color. That got cured. The second one is the half and half. Also work in thin layers. That is tip number 4. Work in thin layers. It helps. And because the quality of the polishes are so good, you can get this down in about 2 layers if done properly. Tip number 5, and this actually helped out. There, leave a little bit of space. If you notice the pink, the hot pink and the light pink, I left a little bit of space. That is actually going to help with the blending. Tip number 6, also take it side by side. So as you can see, I'm leaning heavily more towards one side and just blending that out. And because I'm using those tips from the other times that I practiced, this blend is so much easier and it was a lot smoother. Now we're just gonna blend the other side. And it's, like I said, again, this is sped up, but you can honestly start to see how much smoother that blend is. So light pressure on the tips, leave a little bit of space, and then also take it side by side. That actually really helps. And then I'm taking it all the way across now. Being a little bit finicky. And I didn't want to add, I wanted to bring up that light pink a little bit more, but I didn't want to add more polish because these are very thick pigmented polishes. Now I believe I'm doing the second coat. Oh, I know what this is. So I actually did do the other way where you put the full cover and then do the tip. And I think this was that nail. And for some reason, I guess I wasn't paying attention and my mind just went to the first one. So as you can see, it is very natural for me. And the technique that I prefer is to have both the colors down and then to blend it out in the middle, uncured. So that's what I'm doing here. And this actually ended up being really pretty. Also, final tip. First coat could be a majority of one color and a little bit of the next. The second coat, flip it. So majority of the second color, a little bit of the first color. I also feel like that helps out with the blending. That came out really pretty, actually. I think there was a little bit of fluff in there, so now I want to go back in. And this is why I wear gloves, just in case for times like this. You don't want to touch this with your bare hands. Contact dermatitis, we don't want to do that. Was it this one? Yeah, no, this was the nail. I'm sorry. This was the nail where I was supposed to do the full, but then I ended up doing my first technique. So clearly, as you can see from watching and practicing, I prefer this technique. And it just works out a lot better for me. Once you play around with it and I got, how much pressure I should be putting on, how light the brushes should be touching, it was very smooth. And also here, I was just trying to see if I could do it with both hands. I like to be ambidextrous sometimes. So that's the only reason why I just switched hands. And it's very faint, but it was so pretty. Then you top coat all of it, and here's how they look at the end. Thank you for watching, and please join me next time. Bye.